We have all made decisions which shape our lives forever. Things such as what car we're going to buy, who our spouse is going to be, where we're going to live, so on and so forth. A lot of times when we make these decisions, we don't truly realize the implications of them long term. We only realize how important said decisions were through hindsight and reflection. For better or for worse, I'm somebody who likes to reflect a lot. And in this video, I'm going to be sharing the top 3 decisions which I have realized changed my life forever. So let's dive in. The first decision may sound a little bit aggressive, but I like to call it killing off old Nate. Now, you may or may not have heard the saying that most people die at 18 but aren't buried until they're 70. And whether this is your first time hearing that saying or not, there is a lot of truth to that. Most people ride the wave of childhood, teenage years, and early adulthood, thinking it's the only time that matters in their life. But typically when they get somewhere between the ages of 18 to 22, reality hits them, and it hits them hard. For me, especially in my late teenage years, I was not the guy you see sitting in front of you here today. There will be more videos to come on that time of my life in the future, but for now, let's just say I was pretty much making every single bad decision that a teenager possibly could. That led to me getting in some very real trouble and almost ruining all of the relationships in my life at the time. However, the decision that I made was to completely kill off that version of myself. And when I say completely, I'm talking every aspect. Most 17-year-olds do not have the self-control or perspicacity to realize that a lot of the times, the friends you're hanging around are completely and utterly destroying your life. It takes a very long and hard look in the mirror to truly realize to yourself that the people who you consider to be friends are actually the people bringing you down the most. However, once you start to become a man and you realize these things, you're ultimately faced with a decision. Do I make the easy choice and allow these people to continue having control and influence over my life? Or do I make the difficult choice to start working on myself and cut out any and all distractions of things or people that I know are not self-serving? And as the tattoo on my forearm says, I've always been somebody who believes in longevity and thinking long term. And when I was 17, I decided to put those beliefs into action. The second decision of mine very much relates to the first because it happened not too long after. So believe it or not, once I stopped fucking around so much and hanging out with the wrong types of people, my life started to get significantly better. And when it did, I had opportunities come my way that would have never happened otherwise. And one of those opportunities was to step into a corporate role with a corner office and a comfy salary, all at the age of 18 years old. For about 6 to 7 months, I thought my life couldn't get any better. I was 18 years old, making $40,000 a year, had a beautiful girlfriend, was moving out of my parents' house. I really didn't think I needed much else. But then I realized something. This was not the life I was meant to live. And whether it was because of outside circumstances or my own conversations with myself, I decided that that life was no longer for me, and I was gonna leave the comfy corner office and the salary and pretty much everything a 19-year-old guy who's interested in business could dream of to go out and try and make it on my own in the business world. At the time, I was scared shitless. I had little to no connections, little to no money, and had absolutely no idea what I was doing. And I'll be honest, when I first started, it was some of the worst and most depressing times in my entire life. However, I believe a lot of those times were God or the universe or whatever you want to call it testing me to see how much I really wanted it. And guess what? By sticking to my decision and continuing to put the work in both on myself and in the companies I was trying to build every single day, I am now sitting in a penthouse living in my dream city, which is something that 19-year-old Nate could have never imagined I would accomplish by the time I was 22. And that leads me to my third decision, which is moving out of my hometown. I was born in the Midwestern United States, and anybody who's been there or grew up there knows that most people will never ever leave. They grow up in the same town, they go to the high school in the same town, they have friends who live in the same town, they go to college nearby, then they move back and get a job in the same town, and pretty soon they're 45 years old, hanging out with the exact same people they did in high school, and absolutely nothing about their life has changed. These are the same people who peaked in high school and pretty soon after realized they could never relive those times in their life and have tried to hold on with every single last thing they can. Myself, on the other hand, I have always been interested in experiencing every single thing I possibly can and then making a decision for myself on what I do and don't want and do and don't like. So once my company started taking off and I was making a little bit of money, one of the first things that I did was look to move out of the state in which I grew up. And that is not because I had a bad relationship with my family or the friends that I did have at the time were continuing to pull me down. It was simply because how do I know I won't like living somewhere else if I never live somewhere else? How do I know the grass isn't greener on the other side if I've never seen the grass on the other side? These are things that I was just never able to get clear answers to from anyone. So eventually I decided to take the risk, move 2,000 miles away to Arizona, knowing one guy who I'd met online and seeing what I can make of myself. And I'll tell you what, I haven't been here that long, but so far, this is one of the best decisions that I have ever made. And I know that it will shape my future for years and years to come. So if you've made it this far in the video, thank you. My purpose of this was to A, hopefully share some stories with you and give you a little bit of entertainment, but B, also to get you to hopefully examine some of the decisions that you've made, both good and bad, and seeing how those have affected your life over the course of the last few months, years, or however long it's been since you've made those decisions. If you enjoyed this video, please share it with somebody you know needs to hear it, because them watching this video may be the decision that changes their life forever.